Subversion. We all know quite a lot about the Sun. It is the closest star to us, almost 1.5 million times larger than the Earth in volume. Thanks to the warmth and light of the Sun, life can exist on our planet. Did you think we would start the video so mundane? No, not this time. We came up with the idea to study the oddities that surround our shining light. At first, things went slowly, not so many facts were gathered, but when we dug deeper, we were simply shocked. In some cases, the Sun behaves not only unconventionally, illogically, but sometimes its behavior cracks the whole layer of astronomical knowledge that we received back in our school years. All these phenomena are officially explained by optical effects, but nevertheless, they look no less mysterious. We decided not to scare you from the very beginning, and divided the facts about the Sun into two parts. The first will be devoted to inconsistencies in the theoretical part, and the second to the real facts of the unexplained behavior of the Sun in the firmament. Well, let's go. From the scientific point of view, there is nothing surprising about the Sun. It burns, shines, warms, flies in space, all that stuff. The laws of physics, chemistry, and astronomy work flawlessly. However, if we take Newton's formula, according to which the force of attraction of objects is calculated, by the way, here it is, and apply the masses of the Sun, Moon, Earth, add the distances between celestial bodies, then we get a strange inconsistency. The force of attraction between the Sun and the Moon at the time of the satellite's passage between the Earth and the Sun is more than twice as high as between the Earth and the Moon. This means that the Moon must continue its path in orbit around the Sun, at least, this is what Newton's law says. The situation is similar with other celestial bodies of the solar system, in which Newton's law also doesn't work. In theory, heavy planets, such as Jupiter and Saturn, should be located closest to the Sun, and small and medium-sized planets, like Uranus and Neptune, should be further away from it. But we see a completely different picture. Another interesting fact that can be taken differently. We've decided to mention it. What happens if we calculate the distance to the Sun using the trigonometric function, the tangent, and the sine of the angle of incidence of the Sun's rays on the Earth's surface? Several researchers carried out such measurements and calculations and obtained approximately the same results. The distance to the Sun is from 4 to 6,000 miles, attention, thousands of miles, and the diameter of the star is approximately 40 to 60 miles. Sounds crazy, right? Another peculiar thing. Why, regardless of the distance between the Sun and the planets, the illumination of all of them is about the same. The distance between the Sun and Mercury is 36 million miles, and between the Sun and Saturn is 887 million miles. If Saturn is so far from the Sun, then why is it illuminated approximately the same way? It seems that the farthest and closest planets to the Sun are located approximately at the same distance from the light source. In reality, the theoretical part about our star has much more contradictions. And if we delve into them, the video will be a lot longer. Moving on. The Sun is like a bright light bulb in the sky. Did you know that it can blink? Sharp fluctuations in the light emitted by the Sun have been observed on different continents and recorded on video many times. Here is a famous case of the Sun blinking in Africa during an open-air festival.
Mama is too much. Oh.
This was taken by a camera in Jamaica. A well-known case occurred in Yakusha on July 20, 2018. In the middle of the day, the Sun began gradually decreasing its brightness until it completely went out. It's been dark since 11 a.m. for several hours. During the Sun blackout, the authorities received many messages, mainly from elderly people who tried to find out the reason for what was happening. However, at 5 p.m. it began to dawn sharply. Within 15 to 20 minutes, the sky cleared, but there was no sun yet. By this time, the residents had not noticed any dust or other pollution. Some tried to explain this event by forest fires, but this goes against the testimony of eyewitnesses. Jeez. Damn. It's night. That's creepy. It's night. What time is it?
Всё, ночь.
5
Сколько?
p.m.,
5 часов,
right?
да?
Jeez. The sun with a hole in the center was captured on cameras in several places on Earth. It looks insane. In some cases, the black hole completely absorbed the solar disk. However, this didn't affect the brightness level of the star in any way. In the West, and especially in the USA, the topic of creating an artificial sun is being actively discussed. Indeed, this project of simulating our star was developed back in the 60s and, quite obviously, was launched a long time ago. The sun with a hole in the center is very similar to the same gap in the mirror glowing part of the pseudo-sun. It is interesting that the image of the sun with a similar hole can be found in ancient Masonic paintings. Among the various glitches of the sun, this one is particularly intriguing. For several days, one of the English-speaking researchers recorded on video the passage of the star across the sky before sunset. The first shocking fact is that the sun is oval, narrowed in shape. And the second shocking fact is that the recorded sun was moving regardless of the illuminated place or the light halo. If you have an argument explaining this misunderstanding, let us know in the comments under this video. This fact can be attributed to optical effects, but it also deserves attention, because it's not so easy to explain. If you zoom in on the sun, you can see, for example, that a piece is missing from the edge of the sun, as if someone bit it off. Or at sunrise, you can find out that the sun rises layer by layer, and each layer of solar mass joins the main part of the star. You can also notice a greenish glow around the sun. Another interesting effect is the great deformations of the solar disk, to the point that it becomes almost square or looks like a light bulb. Another glitch, effect, or something similar is the manifestation of an airplane from the solar disk. Is it possible to create using CGI? This is a question for video editing specialists. You might think that this is also an optical effect. The influence of the atmospheric lens is generally a very convenient excuse for skeptics. However, this may be the case of both thin clouds and stripes of chemtrails, as well as rather thick layers of clouds and small clouds. And in this case, the probability that sunlight chooses which cloud to shine through or not is practically reduced to zero. Thus, the effect is impressive. The sun is visually located between clouds and even highlights the clouds, over which it moves. And it seems that the star is right here, very close, somewhere between the clouds. For comparison, here are two different videos. One shows that during sunset, the rays from the sun are located even on the opposite side of the sky, and it's not clear where the setting sun really is. This is footage from the state of Arizona in the USA. In another video, as opposed to the first one, it's pitch dark, night, the moon, everything is as usual. Oh, not exactly. It seems it's still sunset. Thus, in both videos, we observe the setting sun, but the level of illumination at the same time is radically different, from the effect of the ultimate dawn, to the level of night sunset. This phenomenon can also be considered an optical effect like the halo effect. There are several cases when people observe two suns in the sky at the same time, especially closer to sunset. One of them is brighter, the other one is dimmer as if it is a reflection. But this doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes the brightness level of the two suns is about the same. There is this video on the internet, in which you can see that first the mountains are highlighted on one side, then on the other. Although, in theory, there should be only one sun shining only from one side. In fact, we will not give any assumptions or theories here that would explain all the oddities in the behavior of the sun we've shown. Our goal is to show that, in reality, we know much less about it than we think. What are the glitches in the sun's behavior? Why can it blink on and off? Where does the black hole in the sun come from? These and other glitches call into question the scientific idea of our star. And if you have any explanations for these oddities of the sun, be sure to write them in the comments under this video. And while you're leaving a like and sharing this video with your friends, here's another riddle from the celestial bureaucracy about 3 layers of clouds, each of which lives its own life regardless of the direction of the wind. Maybe you'll see something else interesting. There are still a lot of interesting and important things ahead. Goodbye.